Hey there, welcome back to another reading from the basic text. I believe we are on to we're going on to tradition 7. So if you've made it here today, I'm glad you did. Now let's take a moment and we'll breathe together. And then we'll read one or two of the traditions from the basic text, and no pressure, you know, no perfection. Just today, another extension of a longer message. So let's get started. Tradition 7. Oh, sorry. Tradition 7 from, okay. Tradition 7 from chapter 6. I should have known that already. Every NA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. Being self-supporting is an important part of our new way of life. For the individual, this is usually quite a challenge. Sorry, it is usually quite a change. In our addiction, we were dependent on people, places, and things. We looked to them to support us and supply the things that we found lacking in ourselves. As recovering addicts, we find that we are still dependent, but our dependence has shifted from the things around us to a loving God and the inner strength we get in a relationship with Him. We who were unable to function as human beings now find that anything is possible of us. Dreams that we gave up long ago can now become realities. Addicts as a group have been a burden in society. In NA, our groups not only stand on their own, but demand the right to do so. Money has always been a problem for us. We could never find enough to support ourselves and our habits. We worked, stole, conned, begged, and sold ourselves. There was never enough money to fill the emptiness inside. In our recovery, money is often still a problem. We need money to run our group. There is rent to pay, supplies and literature to buy. We take a collection in our meetings to cover these expenses, and whatever is left goes to support our service and to further our primary purpose. Unfortunately, there is little left once a group pays its way. Sometimes members who can afford to give a little extra to help. Sometimes a committee is formed to put on an activity to raise funds. These efforts help, and without them we could not have come this far. And a service remain in need of money, and even though it is something frustrating, we really would not have it any other way. We know the price would be too high. We will have to pull together, and in pulling together, we learn that we really are part of something greater than ourselves. Our policy concerning money is clearly stated. We decline any outside contributions. Our fellowship is completely self-supporting. We accept no funding, endowments, loans, and or gifts. Everything has its price, regardless of intent. Whether the price is money, promises, concessions, special recognitions, endorsements, or favors, it's too high for us. Even if those who would help us could guarantee no strings, we still would not accept their aid. We cannot afford to let our members contribute more than their fair share. We have found that the price paid by our groups is disunity and controversy. We will not put our freedom on the line. Tradition 8. Narcotics Anonymous should remain forever non professional, but our service centers may employ special workers. The eighth tradition is vital to the stability of NA as a whole. In order to understand this tradition, we need to define non professional service centers and special workers. With an understanding of these terms, this important tradition is self explanatory. In this tradition, we say that we have no professionals. By this we mean we have no staff, psychiatrists, doctors, lawyers, or counselors. Our program works by one addict helping another. If we employ professionals in NA groups, we would destroy our unity. We are simply addicts of equal status, freely helping one another. We recognize and admire the professionals. Many of our members are professionals in their own right, but there is no room for professionalism in NA. A service center is defined as a place where NA service committees operate. The World Service Office or local, regional, and area offices are examples of service centers. A clubhouse or halfway house or similar facility is not an NA service center and not affiliated with NA. A service center is, very simply, a place where NA services are offered on a continuing basis. The tradition states service centers may employ special workers. This statement means that service centers may employ workers for special skills such as phone answering, clerical work, or printing. Such employees are directly responsible to work, or such employees are directly responsible to a service committee. As NA grows, the demand for those workers will grow. Special workers are necessary to ensure efficiency in the ever expanding fellowship. The difference between professionals and special workers should be defined by clarity. Professionals work in specific professions that do not directly service NA but are for personal gain. Professionals do not follow the NA tradition. Our special workers, on the other hand, work within our traditions and are always directly responsible to those they serve, to the fellowship. In our eighth tradition, we do not single out our members as professional. By not placing professional status on any member, we ensure that we remain forever non professional. That sounds kind of almost like a bit like a tongue twister. Tradition 9. NA as such ought never be organized, but we may create service boards or committees directly responsible to those they serve. This tradition defines the way that our fellowship functions. We must first understand what NA is. Narcotics Anonymous is addicts who have the desire to stop using and have joined to gather to do so. Our meetings are a gathering of members for the purpose of staying clean and carrying the message of recovery. Our steps and traditions are set down in a specific order. They are numbered, they are not random and unstructured. They are organized, but this is not the type of organization referred to in the ninth tradition. In this tradition, organized means having management and control. On this basis, the meaning of tradition 9 is clear. Without this tradition, our fellowship would be in opposition or spiritual principles. A loving God, as he may express himself in our group conscience, is our ultimate authority. The ninth tradition goes on to define the nature of the things that we can do to help NA. It says that we may create service boards or committees to serve the needs of the fellowship. They exist solely to serve the fellowship. This is the nature of our service structure as it has evolved and been defined in the NA Service Manual. Tradition 10. Narcotics Anonymous has no opinion on outside issues, hence the NA name ought never be drawn into public controversy. In order to achieve our spiritual aim, Narcotics Anonymous must be known and respected. Nowhere is this more obvious than in our history. NA was founded in 1953. For 20 years, our fellowship remained small and obscure. In the 1970s, society realized that addiction had become a worldwide epidemic and began to look for answers. Along with this came change in the way people thought of the addict. This change allowed addicts to seek help more openly, and a groups sprang up in many places where we were never related before or tolerated before. Recovering addicts paved the way for more groups and more recovery. Today's NA is a worldwide fellowship. We are known and respected everywhere. If an addict has never heard of us, he cannot seek us out. If those who work with addicts are unaware of our existence, they cannot refer them to us. One of the most important things we can do to further our primary purpose is to let people know who, what, and where we are. If we do this and keep our good reputation, we will surely grow. Our recovery speaks for itself. Our 10th tradition specifically helps protect our reputation. This tradition says that NA has no opinion on outside issues. We don't take sides. We don't have any recommendations. NA as a fellowship does not participate in politics. To do so would invite controversy. It involves it would jeopardize our fellowship. Those who agree with our opinions might commend us for taking a stand, but some would say disagree. Some would always disagree. With a price this high, it is any wonder we choose not to take side in society's problems. For our own survival, we have no opinion on outside issues. Tradition 11. Our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We need always maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, and films. This tradition deals with our relationship to those outside the fellowship. It tells us how to conduct our efforts at the public level. Our public image consists of what we have to offer. A successful proven way of maintaining a drug-free lifestyle, while it is important to reach as many people as possible, it is imperative for our protection that we are careful about advertisements, circulars, and any literature that may reach the public's hands. Our attraction is that we are successes in our own right. As groups, we offer recovery. We have Our attraction is that we are successes in our own right. As groups, we offer recovery. We have found that the successes of our program speaks for itself. This is our promotion. This tradition goes on to tell us that we need to maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, and films. This is to protect the membership and the reputation of Narcotics Anonymous. We do not give our last names nor appear in the media as a member of Narcotics Anonymous. No individual inside or outside the fellowship represents Narcotics Anonymous. And Tradition 12. Anonymity is the spiritual foundation of all our traditions, ever reminding us to place principles before personalities. A dictionary definition of anonymity is a state of being, sorry, is a state of bearing no name. In keeping with tradition 12, the I becomes we. The spiritual foundation becomes more important than any one group or individual. As we find ourselves growing closer together, the awakening of humility occurs. Humility is a byproduct that allows us to grow and develop in an atmosphere of freedom and removes the fear of becoming known by our employers, families, or friends. In addicts, therefore, we attempt to rigorously adhere to the principles that what is said in meetings stays in meetings. Throughout our traditions, we speak in terms of we and our rather than me and mine. By working by working together for our common welfare, we find um, we achieve the true spirit of anonymity. We have heard the phrase principles before personalities so often that it is like a cliche. While we may disagree as individuals, the spiritual principles of anonymity makes us all equal as members of the group. No member is greater or lesser than any other member. The drive for personal gain in the areas of sex, property, and social position, which brought so much pain in the past, falls by the wayward if we adhere to the principles of anonymity. Anonymity is one of the basic elements of our recovery, and it pervades our traditions. It pervades our traditions and our fellowship. If persistence, if it protects us from our own defects of character and renders personalities and their differences powerless. Anonymity is action, makes it impossible for personalities to come before principles. All right, that's chapter 6 done. Thank you for joining me again today. I appreciate every one of you. You know, I would love it if you wanted to share a comment or just tell me what you think, or if you have any suggestions on how I can do things better, or you want to be part of my community, hit subscribe. You know, I'm looking for a high subscribe count, to be honest. I mean, you don't have to subscribe to be part of my community. You're welcome no matter what. But it does help me out a little bit. So, take care. We will see you again soon. And I love every one of you. So, thank you. We will see you again very soon.